Yes,
Now,
thank you.
before we move on, we actually are going to hand out copies of the work that was done on the a group of people, volunteers who stepped up. We want to go ahead and hand those out.
Is Vern still here?
We're probably gonna need more of it.
Yeah,
We will handle that.
these are some recommendations that were brought forward from the committee that we're looking into the Bradford County Library and the operations. And so we are going to look through these.
So I'd just like to thank Vern for your leadership. You're retired Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major. And I think you've done your organizational skills proved well in running a committee of all volunteers. Appreciate your service. And I think T. Thompson, you were on that board as well. And also, I'm going to echo this one more time. You guys got sued by the Friends of the Library, I believe, individually. On Channel 16, I hope you do report this. You know, they're volunteers and they were sued. In my opinion, it's sick. And that is in a time when volunteerism is at an all-time low. You sued a combat vet, another vet, school teachers, homeschoolers, a guy for this represents economic development. You sued librarian. All these people were here to try to make sense of how to take an underutilized, over budgeted facility. And I'll give you an idea of the over budgeted. The average salary of a librarian, $3,000 a year, no benefits. We have two, equals $150,000 a year with benefits. $460,000 budget, then 100% tax dollars, your general fund. And I hope you get this right, Dale Review, because you keep misreporting what it is. You keep getting into the whole budget. I'll be glad to give you the budget. You can show me where it's one point whatever. We collect $11 million. This, you could go right to the library and see the transfer from general fund. That is your property tax money. It represents 4%. I talked to a business owner, but everybody has been terrific through this whole process. I got elected to challenge overspending in departments. I've done it my whole time here. Many times, challenged them, and I'll continue to do it. And from the very beginning, this is over budgeted and underutilized. So I think there's some recommendations here that make sense. I think agree with, dive into, make some sense of it. They are also served or got resuing the case before Chris. Who in God's name does this? A combat vet. That man right there served to give the First Amendment right to have a library. This has got to stop. All going to come together. Enough is enough. So today is going to start a new day. Like I said, we're going to take the recommendations. I'm going to look at them. I'm also going to, one that I glanced down through, I'm going to ask the put on the agenda to put an RFP out for a library consultant, so we can have someone come in that understands this, because it's all over the place, and to make recommendations on how to fix the systems board. You know, take a look at our library, take a look at bookmobiles, take a look at everything and bring it together, lies and serve the county. So I'd ask you to put that RFP for consultant on the agenda, if you would, please.
I think the first step is we have to have a motion to add something to the agenda. So
I'll make that motion. Yep.
to add an item to the
To
agenda.
add the item.
Motion in a second to our agenda. Oh, any further? Hearing none, all in favor of that? Say
Aye.
all right, now we have the ability to add some. Do you want to make this?
I'll make the P for a library consultant to sit down and have a scope of work to take a look at the systems board. We can work through this, but also make recommendations on how to proceed forward.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on that item. Any? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we will take the rest of these recommendations. Move forward. So with that being said, did everybody get copies that wanted
More copies.
All right, we'll get more copies. There'll be more copies available. All right, moving on. Visitors' remarks. Karen Troop.
I am indebted to my father and father-in-law for their service to this country. Both of them had a vision of the future. This included the right for their children and grandchildren to be able to read any books that they choose to, and to also have the freedom to fully express their opinions. Boo, you know my sons, John and Ethan, Boy Scouts. John was an acquaintance of JB's at Towanda High. Our sons transitioned from Towanda High to neighboring Locke High. John, like his father, is a voracious reader. His father and I would never have been able to purchase all the books John and his siblings devoured. Between providing lots and lots of books, experience in church and in scouting, and sending them to St. Agnes School for at least, Dan and I strove to raise our children to become responsible citizens. As a family, we spent many hours hearing at our church and in scouting. I volunteered as a librarian at St. Agnes for 10 years after our youngest, Eli, had graduated from 8th grade. Even though our children had the opportunity to fly in a plane over the beautiful Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, flying wasn't the inspiration for any of them to succeed in life and become a pilot. All the knowledge John gathered from reading aided him in his quest to earn 3 degrees. His 3 siblings share 4 college degrees between them. As John flies around the country, fulfilling responsibilities as a civilian employee of the Department of Defense, he isn't thinking about that long ago plane ride. He's reading a book. When I visit John and his family in New Jersey, he likes to take me on tours of the local libraries that show me the possibilities when they are fully supported by the community. Eli is living in Lackawanna County, where residents are charged a 2.82 millage to support their local libraries. He has informed his father and me that he has no intention of moving back to Bradford County. His children love their local library, the Abington Community Library. To provide his children this resource that enriches their lives feel like a burden to either Eli or his stay wife. Unlike Bradford County, with its declining population, both communities our sons and their families live in are thriving. Must be the majority of the residents view the benefits far exceeding the cost of supporting libraries. I can only imagine the concern of schooling families about the possibility of losing access to the collection housed at Bradford County Library. My who are not homeschooled take out approximately 25 books at each and every library visit. All volunteers are valuable assets to their communities, whether they have been handpicked by the commissioners of Bradford County or not. Their efforts are vital, regardless if their time and effort is being spent helping a poor, small library or church. None of the library's trustees and are paid for their time donated to their local library. I am in deep gratitude to the two newspapers in Bradford County and for the news stations from out of the area who are reporting on the Bradford County Library situation. When unbiased professional journalists give an account of current affairs, they are performing an important service to that community. The written word makes it difficult for someone to drown out using voices. Journalists are fighting the good fight for the future vision that veterans like my father and father-in-law believed in.
All right, Megan Greeno,
No longer wish to comment.
Jackie Kingsley, Rebecca. Could we keep these brief, please? A couple minutes.
My name is Rebecca Traub Hodgson. I'm currently serving as the interim director at the Bradford County Library. I would like to respond to Commissioner McClinko's closing remarks at the last meeting. I would like to comment that myself and Alan Rollison, who serves as the office manager at the Bradford County, did in fact have our annual budget review on October 11th at 9 a.m. at the Bradford County Courthouse. At the time, I received no feedback or comment from any of the commissioners regarding our budget being over budgeted. We received no information that negotiations needed to be entered. Dan Thorpe, the head accountant, said everything in that budget seemed standard protocol procedures considering our previous budgets that we had submitted. In terms of the salaries listed, I would like to point out, according to the Pennsylvania Association, those salaries are still within range for those with a master's degree residing in the state of Pennsylvania. I would like to report that as of 9 a.m. this morning, the Bradford County Library has saved its users $656,327. This does not include the cost of interlibrary loan materials. This is automatically calculated for our Apollo system, which is shared through all of the member libraries in Bradford County. Thank you.
So to your comment, yeah, we had to budget, but you guys never came in and said, how can we cut our budget down? Because there's been a lot, this is a very political action that's happened. And I think we have some recommendations here that I think everybody might be able to live with if we, I got to study them yet and all this other stuff. But just so the media knows, there's 9 county libraries in Bradford County. I was hard pressed to find another county that even had a county library. So like Wyoming County has 1 or 2, right?
They have 3 libraries in Hunter County.
And how much do their commissioners, they give about $20,000, so, and then you have Susquehanna Wayne. I talked to a county out in the western part of the state has 2 libraries. We have 9. Our mission was always to strengthen the other 8. There's been a lot of back and forth and accusations here, but I think that report that my thing from the very beginning is that budget can't stand. It's going towards $500,000. I'll just go over it again. Towanda Library right up the street has $150,000 budget. They raise about 75% of that budget. Sayre has $150,000 budget. They raise about 75% of that budget. Canton Green Free has about a 50 budget, 5% of that budget. So you can see it's out of whack. So this isn't a back and forth. You're a county employee, you're welcome to come in and meet with us. So my point is this, again, when you look at the numbers, can we get a better bang for our buck? Can we cut it down? One of the, there's been, I don't know, just a few municipalities support letters of support, which we appreciate. There's been a couple of businesses. I talked to one of the business owners that I utmostly respect, personally like a lot there, and will continue to do business there. And I said, what does a $500,000 increase mean to you? Because that's what this is. Again, been widely misreported. People are confused in this county. It all comes from general fund the tax revenue from your property, 100%. The rest of the budget, state and federal funding, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Grant money, everything. And I'll be happy to get the budget and have somebody show me any different. When I said $500,000 or $1 million, they said it would cost us thousands of dollars. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this board does. We're elected by people to challenge departments. So if you have something that you feel is over budgeted, you work to get that budget under control. So we did meet with them, and I hope they come back in and say, how can we make this work? Some ideas here. So I don't agree with all of them, but we'll get a consultant in here and we'll try to make head or tails of it. But I want to reiterate, 9 county libraries in Bradford County. The county does important because people are confused. The county has nothing to do with the other 8, only 1. Nothing to do with the other 8, okay? Yeah, and another thing is 100% is funded out of the other property tax money. It's been widely misreported by people who don't understand budgets, obviously. So the confusion of libraries has got to stop. We have to support our local libraries. I believe in even hardbound books. I do audio myself, but I'll tell you, with AI and a lot of you report, it's very important to keep hardbound books where we can get to them. Very important. So again, we want to look at strengthening the other 8 and helping. It's been the mission since the beginning, getting this budget under control. We have something here that that Vern has led a group to do, and I think we're going to take it under recommendation. We also, little does everybody know, the library also has a board. And that board needs to start being used. We need to meet with that board, and we need to get some sense and sensibility back into this process. So going forward, again, I will always challenge where I think there's tax dollars that can be saved, especially when it comes down to a lot of them. I have a township supervisor right here. Do you challenge in your township if you see something you think's out of whack?
Anytime I can see a way to save money and not really impact things, yes, absolutely positive. Just did it with our phone system, with our cable system. We just did it.
And you're here today, and you guys have done a lot of work on solar panels for your community
Yeah,
to try to make it a better place to live.
yeah.
So the tax need to stop. We have a bunch of volunteers that are no longer, their services are no longer needed, did a trip. So we've got some work to do. So let's get to work and find out how we make the 9 libraries work and the system work better. The library system work better. So thank you.
Right.